So I was starting to research the penile implant, and which I did on the web, and I started to see things like on YouTube the operation being done in the States, and I knew the model of that was being used in the States. I thought, okay, that sounds like the one I would like. So I researched again, found out whether there was anyone in Tasmania doing it, and so I understand there was very little practice going on in Tasmania, so I had to go to Melbourne. And there was a bloke in Melbourne's called Chris Love, which I found him on the web, and had made an appointment to see him. I think that was a great move, actually. That was a good move. He's a nice fella, and it was good to catch up with him and talk about my erection for a starter, and get some more information about the possibility of this erection, was whether it was going to come back or not come back. He said I ought to do an ultrasound to find out whether the blood flow was going to return naturally and stop it in the penis, so I could have a rigid penis again. So again, I couldn't have that done in Hobart. Tried everywhere in Hobart to get a ultrasound done, so I had to go to Melbourne. That was a good move. For me, that was a good move, because it was like, I'm going to have this implant done. I didn't want the implant done if there's any opportunity or any possibility of my erection coming back naturally. So I had the ultrasound done, and there was a male technician that did it, so he was able to give me all the feedback I needed at the time. And what I found was, even using the injections and so forth, which they used obviously as doing the ultrasound, my erection was really only a 50% erection anyway. So, and it wasn't going to get any better. So that was a big tick really towards having the implant done. So I'd had the first appointment with Chris. So it was only a matter of me then ringing up and sort of booking the operation, which I did. So I booked the operation, and I felt quite comfortable and confident that this was the way to go. I researched everything, I tried everything, and the last resort was the operation. And from what I understand, there's a 90% satisfactory result from the operation. So I went off for the operation, and flew out of Hobart early in the morning. Unfortunately, you've got to get up that 6 o'clock flight. Bit of a hiccup there. I'd made the booking the day before, unfortunately, and so I had to muck around and make another booking and sit in Hobart for an hour beforehand, which I started to get a bit nervous, actually. I started thinking, well, crikey, if I don't get to the operation, and they've got a whole operating theatre waiting for me, and gee, what would that cost? It was a bit nerve-wracking, but anyway, we got there. So the nurse took me into my room, and I was just waiting. It was a matter of just waiting for the anaesthetist to come and see me. I wasn't concerned at all, because it wasn't like there was a doubt in my mind at all whether or not this operation was going to be successful. I knew it was going to be successful. I knew that this was the last course of action for me to deal with my erectile problems, and I was comfortable with that. The anaesthetist came, and I caught up with him, and within a couple of hours, I think, visiting with him, I got wheeled into the operating theatre. I thought, here we go, we're starting, and Chris Love was there, and just, again, reassured me that everything was going on okay, and I was pretty excited, really, to some degree. So that was it, really, until I woke up again in the recovery, and then wheeled back to my ward. And at that stage, when I got to the ward and recognised, sort of looked at my body a bit, I had a sandbag on my just above the penis, which apparently keeps the swelling down. My penis was bandaged up, and so the rest of the night was hourly checks by the nursing staff. and cups of tea, and they really looked after me pretty well actually. Cups of tea and biscuits, and a lot of caring went on in that hospital for me. And then morning comes, and I was waiting then for Chris to come and sort of say the operation was okay, which he did. He arrived, told me that everything was quite successful, and it was just a matter of discharging me. Now, when the operation is done, there's a little drain in the stomach that drains the wound, and that had to come out, and my penis had to get unbandaged, and that happened. Got dressed, and then waited for my partner to pick me up. She came along, and we caught a train. I was going to be a bit nervous, but, because obviously it was bruising and so forth. I thought this is going to hurt a little bit walking around, but that was quite relatively comfortable. So I didn't have any real problems around that. Booked into a hotel in Melbourne, and then flew back to Hobart the next day. There was, I reckon, the 3 or 4 days I was a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, the swelling came out a little bit more, and I just had to be careful, not running around too much, just sitting around a little bit, resting, and that was fine. But I was back into work, I reckon, within a week and a bit, probably a bit over a week. I was back into work, and that was quite okay. That was quite comfortable.
Penile implant surgery. Your questions and answers. Brought to you by FixedED, www.fixeded.net.au.